Hello everyone, good afternoon. We are here to start week 3 of the Patchwork, I always say that, week 3 of the Duffle Sew-Along for 2024. I went camping over the weekend and I came back and I sound like, I don't know if it was the dust or something, but I apologize about my voice. It's a little bit raspy, but I'm feeling good. So minus that I need some more sleep. Camping with toddlers is like great and not restful. But I'm excited to be here with you today. We have lots and lots of tips. I'm hoping to sew a little bit with you today live as well. I'm hoping I can get my camera situation to work for that. I've never done it. So we're just going to go ahead and try. And as always, we're going to be posting this video to YouTube so you can pause it, speed it up, whatever. So I hope that you guys have liked that and that that's been a helpful thing during the sew along. And then after this live, we'll be putting this video in the email so that you'll get it in your inbox along with some other tips. So we're just going to go jump in and get started. And I'm like, do I just sew all of it with you? Or I'm trying to figure out like the best parts to share. So I've kind of left things all half undone so that we can do some of it together today. So first I wanted to just go over the strap. Okay, so I have my strap adjuster here sewn in. So this is my carrying strap. And I know that people like love the visual of putting the hardware on. I have a video on my YouTube as well. But okay, so this is the seam side. So that's the wrong side, right? And I'm going to thread my strap or my swivel hook onto the right side of it. That one's the easy one. And then we're just going to come back through our strap adjuster over and under like that. And now we have one end with a swivel hook and one end here. So now it's adjustable and then super easy. We're just going to pop the other one on the other end and sew it down like that. So I'm just going to clip mine in place because I won't be sewing that on screen today, on live today, but so there, I just wanted to share that. I was like, I could leave this undone and just show the hardware. So now I have the swivel hook on this side, the swivel hook on this side. I decided to go with Tula pink hardware. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. All right, carrying strap. All right, and binding. All right, we're doing binding on the pockets and binding on the zipper on the top of the bag. So I left this one unbound for you as well. So if you're like me into these tags, I've probably talked about them every week, like having the little sew-in tags. Bindings are a really great place to sew in a tag. I have my Knot and Thread Design tag that I had custom made. I'm going to sew it in there. But if you can see here, I added the little watermelon and the little orange onto my pocket there. So your pockets, bindings are great places to add tags and other places I'll show you later on too. All right, so you're just going to attach your binding to the lining side and you're going to roll it over and bind it. I like to use my Stilleto to keep my binding in place. You can glue based. I'm excited to share this. It's quite miraculous that I've never used this till now, but this is ByAnnie's double-sided basting tape. I tried it on the binding. I think that I felt comfortable doing it without that, but I just wanted to see how it worked, and it's so slick to just stick the tape on, and I'm going to show you because we're going to use it when we put the zipper in place, and then peel the paper back off, and then I just stuck it down. So you could try something like this. We have it in our shop. But you could do glue basting, you can just clip it in place with your clips, like those are my binding tips. You can do all sorts of things, and then you're just going to stitch right on the edge. And then you're going to put your pockets together, and you're going to round your corners. So to round your corners, I love the Creative Grid circle rulers. It comes in a set of, I think 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5. And I use them a lot for bags. But I like these because I can put them on the corner and just use my rotary cutter to trim the edge. So those are great, but you can also use the bottom of a cone. It's the right measurement as well, and you can just, here, I'll show you. You can just lay this down on your cutting table and then use your rotary cutter around that too, or just mark it and use your scissors. Either one works. All right. And then, let's see. For bias binding, I was like, I'm going to show them everything. Bias binding. So I cut my bias binding strips. And you're just going to put these right sides together when you're sewing them. And you always want to overlap 1/4 inch when you're sewing them. I'm probably not going to sew this either, but I just want to show you, if you've never done bias binding, how you sew your strips together after you've cut out your bias. Right, so you're going to do it like this, and then you're just going to sew right along here, and then press your seam open like this. So the reason we do bias binding is because we're going around curves. So you can see it's cut on the bias, it stretches. It's really great for going around the curves, right? So there's bias binding for my second end panel. I already attached the binding to the end panel here, and this is something that we updated in the Patchwork Duffle mini pattern, and then when I updated the Patchwork Duffle pattern, I just added this because I think that it's easier to attach the binding to this flat piece rather than to your bag, right? That makes sense, right? So one of the reasons I love adding the binding to this piece is because it's flat, it's a little bit easier to get your 1/4 inch seam allowance, right? And then when I'm sewing it in, I have my 1/4 inch seam allowance to follow already when I'm sewing it in. So I feel like it's helped improve my seam allowance when I'm sewing my bag together. And then when you're binding it, right, it just makes it so much easier to know that you're keeping your seam allowance even, because sometimes they get bulky, right? So, all right. So we attach our bias binding onto the lining side of the end panel. I'm going to make sure I'm doing this all in order. Okay, and then we've got our zipper. All right, this is what we're going to sew. This is what we're going to sew together. We're going to try it out. Oh, wait, I guess I should go over it. So you're going to bind these are your zipper bindings, right? So you'll bind those as well. I'm trying to cover all the steps. And then you'll attach your handles. And it has all the measurements for the handle placement in there, and that's not too tricky to do. So I wanted to add, you can add tags up here, and it would be like this on top of your bag. You could add a little tag, but I added another one. This is my newest favorite place to add a tag on the duffel. I just added a little black star right there on the edge of the, when I just like pinned it in when I was sewing the handle down, so that's like a fun another little detail. And when you're sewing your handles on, you just want to make sure that you don't twist them when you're sewing them down. That's my tip for the handles. All right. So when I was picking hardware today, I was like, what hardware do I do? And that always helps me pick a zipper, because I ended up going with the pink Tula hardware, so I went with the Tula Pink Zippers by the Yard, this neutral one, but I added these giant Tula Pink zipper pulls on, and they are big zipper pulls. But the bag is big, so I figure it will be just fine, so you can kind of see the zipper pulls. Okay, so I've sewn my zipper on one side already, so this is the part that I wanted to show you with the basting tape. It's just like so cool. So the trickiest thing I think in this zipper attachment is you want everything to stay aligned, right? So that means you're going to line these up, right? You want this lined up on top of the zipper tape, and you want these, you don't want to offset these edges, right? You want to keep them even here. So, so what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do it down here, and then I'll lift it up and show you on screen. But I'm going to get my double-sided basting tape. Like I said, I had used this years ago, and I hadn't used it in a while, and realized Annie had her own brand, and you know I'm a big Annie fan, so I was like, I have to try this. And now I'm like really addicted to lining things up with basting tape, because it just is so nice. Okay, so I'm just like doing it along the whole length of the zipper, and I'm putting this, and then you just rip it, right? You just rip it off, and the package comes with 2 of these rolls, so there's like a roll here and a roll here. So it comes with a ton of the basting tape. All right, I'm just gonna press that down. So if you can see, I know it's really hard to see, so my camera setup's a little different. There's this little white strip, that's my double-sided basting tape. So I'm just gonna peel off the paper part of it. So slick. And I have a little sticky edge now. I don't know if you can see that on the zipper tape. So I'm gonna line up I'm just gonna put my zipper, the second zipper side, right on top of it and stick it in place. Right where I want it. And it's nice because it's pretty, it's not super sticky, right? So I can reposition things if I need to. Anyways, I'm really excited about this. So I think I am going to just throw one pin in each edge because I really want to make sure that they stay in place. And then to sew this, I'm going to unzip my zipper. And I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and this is what I love. Look, that zipper is like staying right in place. Like, I'm sure if I handle it a ton, it will come off, but it's really awesome. Okay, so I'm going to sew this. So you're just going to pull your bag to the side, right? Pull to the side of this so that you're not sewing through anything. You want to keep your machine clear. And keep your zipper pull out of the way. Okay, I'm going to get this needle down and this started, and then I'm going to see if I can change my camera to a different angle so we can sew together today. Okay, needle down. Alrighty. We're gonna see how this angle works. It's like backwards to you guys, so it's a little bit odd, but I hope you can see that okay, because I know it's backwards. But we're gonna just go with it. So I hope that this is a good view for you guys. I wonder if this, let me see if I can change my light situation real quick too. Is that better? I don't know. All right. Well, we're gonna go with it. I've got a small space here that I'm trying to do this in, so. All right, so I'm just gonna sew this down on the edge of the binding. Oh, my thread got caught. I moved my machine in here. Let's see. See, it moved just a little bit, so I'm just going to reposition that. Trying to keep it even. Alrighty. See how easy that was to sew in a zipper? I hope that that was a good view. I'm not sure what your view is like, but I'm going to go back over and sew, restitch over the binding side. What is the name of this bag pattern? It is the Patchwork Duffle. We're sewing the Patchwork Duffle for the Patchwork Duffle sew along, and there's also the Patchwork Duffle mini that you can do as well. So maybe this view is a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to go along and stitch the other, restitch over the binding stitch to keep my zipper all in place. Okay, we got our zipper in, and I know that that's the question I get a lot is how hard is a zipper, but that zipper was pretty easy, right? Pretty slick. It's just straight inset zipper. There's no curves. It's just straight. So the trickiest part is sewing the second side of it, but I think you guys will get it. And you can see how nice and even that was. It It worked out so well. I'm so excited. Okay, so now I have my little hardware tabs for the carrying strap, so I'm going to add those, and you're just going to add them right centered over your zipper, right here. And when you're sewing over your zipper, you're going to definitely want to use your top stitch 9014 needle, and you're going to want to sew slowly because you're sewing through, these aren't metal tape, right, but you can sew through them and you won't have a problem, but you want to sew slowly. Sorry, I'm reading questions too. What machine are you sewing with left-handed? Okay, I'm sewing on a FOF Performance Icon. I love this machine so much. I've probably had it 4 or 5 years now, and I love it. But my camera is mirrored, so I'm not really sewing it left-handed. So, okay, and I am going to just go over it a couple of times because this is going to be where the weight of your bag will be when you're carrying it on your carrying strap, so you want to reinforce that. Okay, all right, and I am going to see if I can, I wonder if I can flip the camera and do it the other way. I'm going to try. Let's see, because I think this will be much easier for the next few steps. So thanks for bearing with me while we figure out this live sewing. Okay, should have done that from the beginning, but I think it will work. Okay, so now I have my scissors. I'm just going to cut this off so it's even. And I'm going to flip my bag inside out because I'm going to attach an end panel with you guys as well. Because I wanted to do the zipper and the binding because those are the things that everybody has the biggest questions about. So I wanted to just do them with you, show you along the way. Okay, we've got this flipped inside out. And I have hardware attached on one side. So I didn't attach the second one, but so don't forget to attach your hardware when you're doing your bag if you're adding a carrying strap. All right, so I already have my end panel all ready to go in, so I'm going to mark the centers because then this will keep it all even, and I'm going to clip it into place. So if you have questions, now is a great time. You could, let's see if I can even read questions. Okay, yeah, I can read questions. If you have questions, now's a great time because I'm going to just clip this in and we can chat while I clip. So I marked my centers there, and then I'm going to mark my center as well of my bag. I have a center marking here on the top edge where the zipper is, but I'm going to mark a zipper here at the bottom. Let's see, where did I brought 4 pins in. Let me grab a pin real quick. All right. I'm going to mark my centers, and then I'm just going to clip this in. Oh, there's my pin. Okay, so this is my Hello Pouch pattern. This is the smallest size in the Hello Pouch pattern. It comes with 4 sizes. It's a really fun technique with the zipper. Anyways, I love it because it's got a little base, and my clips sit really nice in it. So, all right, so I'm just going to clip this in. I'm going to clip it in, and I like to start with the top edge and make sure you don't put that pocket on upside down. I don't know if you remember that reel from a few years ago with my friend Shelly from Matant Quilting. She clipped her pocket upside down, and it was really funny, but not very fun when you think you're done and you have to unpick the end panel to fix it. So, all right, let's see. Do we have any questions? If you're just tuning in, we're clipping in our end panel. I can see I'll be purchasing your patterns in the near future. Oh, thank you. It's a really fun pattern. This is one of my favorites. It's so handy, and I love the duffel for so many reasons. Okay, so then we're just going to, I can't really see your view. I hope this is a good view for you guys. We're just going to clip in around the corner. So this is one of my favorite reasons that we use Soft and Stable in these bags, is because I feel like it's really moldable and easy to just adjust into your corners. So because we attached our bias binding on first as well, you can see that I have that seam allowance that I've already sewn. So it helps me keep my seam allowance nice and straight. All right, so then I'm going to just keep clipping. So this is one of the reasons why I have so many Wonder Clips, because it just makes it so much easier. And I always tell people, like, don't skip the clipping at the end, because it makes you sew a little bit slower, and during this part, I think that it's good to sew a little bit slower while you're sewing, because it just keeps things in line and in place while you're sewing. All right, so we're going to just finish clipping this, and then I'm going to sew it on and bind this bag with you guys. It's been so fun to see everybody's bags. I'm really loving so many of the patchwork versions. I feel like there's more patchwork versions this year than in some of the past sew-alongs. So if you haven't checked out the hashtag Duffle Sew-along 2024, be sure to do that, because there's some really awesome bags out there and people are doing some really clever and creative stuff. You make bag making look easy. I have made a lot of bags, so practice does help, I promise. You can just keep on practicing. I should mention this fabric is Oh Lucky Lucky from Alexia Abeg for Ruby Star Society. It will be coming out soon, but it's not in stores yet. So I love this lining fabric. The butterflies I just adore. So all right, so now I'm going to pull these pins out because I don't need them to mark. The pins were really only there to help me mark my centers and fit my panel in centered. And again, I like the soft and stable. I can just kind of smash it down and get it under my machine. I'm going to back stitch. Can you guys see that all right? I feel like I need more light somewhere. Let's see if I can get this a little better for the lighting. Okay, I hope that's better. All right, I think it's all right. Okay, so we are going to just keep sewing. When we get around this curve, you're just going to want to kind of smash this out of the way, right? Just kind of like push it under and smash it out of the way. And then I'm just going to keep following that stitching line, trying to keep my 1/4 inch seam. And then also, like, having needle down is really helpful. If you have needle down function on your sewing machine where your needle stops in the down position, it helps it so it doesn't like pull off and you have to like resituate it. But just so slow around those curves. And you can just keep moving this out of the way, the fullness. I just want to keep making sure all my layers are lined up and even. Gosh, I have all these cords. Sorry. Okay. Are you guys still seeing this all right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so at this top part is where I'm sewing over my hardware tab and my zipper, so I just am going to go a little bit slower over this. And I'm going to back stitch because like I said, I really want this reinforced because it's going to be carrying the weight of the bag if I wear it on my shoulders. So, all right, we're almost done. Yay! Final corner. All right, I'm gonna just look back and see if there's any questions. Sewing the binding curves has been a little challenging for me because of the thickness. Absolutely, the thickness definitely is the trickiest part of this, going through the thickness. So that's why I recommend using the 9014 sewing needle, as well as doing all of your extra, like the stitching to keep your, like, remember we stitched 1/8 of an inch around all of our quilted pieces. That part's really helpful because it compresses all of this down right here when you're flipping this binding around to sew it on. Okay, I'm just checking to see if there's question. Words are in the way. Oh, we're going to put this on YouTube so you can watch it without the words. Will just be the video. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do is just clip this down. So I've done it a bunch of different ways where I think you can do this without clipping, but I also feel like clipping helps. So do whatever's comfortable for you. When you're going around the corners, just pull your binding up and over. And this is a little bit full, but I actually really like my bindings to be really full. But if it's like you can't pull it down to that stitch line. So do you see how this is the stitch line that I just created? I'm using like a light teal thread. So I want to pull that at least down to that stitch line right there. And I like my bindings to be nice and full. So if this is too full in the corner, you can always take scissors like this and just ease out a little bit in the corners. And I usually just start with a little bit, not a ton. But you can do that to help you wrap the binding around those corners. And then clipping definitely helps as well. So I think I'm just going to clip the corners for now and show you how to just top stitch it down. So my favorite tool to use when I'm doing binding, I've said it so many times, but for anyone who hasn't heard, is ByAnnie's Stilleto and pressing tool, which I think mine just might have fallen, so I'm going to have to go grab it. But I love it to help me keep my binding in place when I'm sewing it down. All right, we're almost there. I guess I'll just do a couple clips on each side. You can clip way more. Also, I heard a tip once where if you're feeling like it's way too thick for your machine to sew, you can do, I don't know what they call it, do your clips lined up like really close together like this, and then leave it overnight, and it will compress that soft and stable and make it so that this isn't like so thick. And you can try that. I've done it a couple times. One time I did it just because I was like at a point to stop for the night sewing, and I was like, oh, it was so handy to do that the next day when I came back to it. I was like, it helped so much to have like the compression of the clips overnight, because it really did just like, it just like compresses it. That's the word. Yep. Compresses it and makes it a little bit easier to sew through those thicknesses. All right, we're almost there. Let me know if you have questions. I will try and answer them as I'm going along. All right. Okay. So let me just grab my stiletto. It does say I'm low on thread too. Of course I'm low on thread. So I'm going to sew as much as I can. We'll see. We're going to have a game of bobbin chicken and see if we make it. Okay. All right. So I have my stiletto. This is my ByAnnie stiletto and pressing tool. I like the end for pressing like my binding seams open. And this is a little stiletto protector. It's a pin more, but I sell these in a small pack on my website. But I like those to protect the end as well when I'm not sewing. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to get this started under my machine. I'm always going to back stitch. I'm sorry that the lighting is dark in the bottom corner, so I hope you can see it all right. Alright, so this is where I really love to use my stiletto to just keep all these bindings in place when I'm going around the curves. And when you're going around the curves, just again smash that soft and stable out of your way. And if you're doing this, you want your zipper to be closed, or yeah, like into the center, because you don't want to sew over any zipper pulls, and then the hardware is under here as well. So just make sure that that stuff's all out of the way. And then sew slowly over your zipper. I really like to pull the threads or clip the threads out of the way while I'm doing it. I feel like it just keeps it cleaner and less threads to cut at the end. Alright, we are almost out of thread. Let's see. Are we going to make it? I don't think we're going to make it, guys. It's going to be close. Out of bobbin. Okay. Of course we're out of bobbin. So let me just push it, get my new bobbin in real quick. And I'm going to use a different color, but well, it's still a blue, so I think it's fine. It's the inside, right, guys? This might make people crazy, but it's just because we're doing it live, so I don't want to keep you guys waiting all day for this end result. Okay. All right, I'm going to just throw that back under and do some back stitches to keep it nice and finished. Okay, look, we're almost done. Yay! Okay. Get around that corner. And then back stitch to end. Cut my threads. All right. So I'm going to show you my binding up close and personal. So there's the front side. And here is the back side. So I really like to try to keep my binding stitching even on both sides. You can see I went off a little bit right there. But that, I think, is helpful when you do the clips as well. You can just kind of keep them right even. And you can test your seam allowance and your binding width in the pattern we call for 2.5 inch bias binding. So if you have like a wider seam allowance or something like that, that might affect all of your bindings like that. Okay, so I'm going to flip this inside out. Also, if you have seen, people have added mesh pockets on this side with the fold over elastic. We have mesh and elastic in our shop. It's a great addition for a pocket on the inside because there are no pockets on the inside for this bag. Okay, I'm going to just flip this inside out. I still have to add one more end panel, but I will do that this week for my week 3 homework and get the duffel finished up. But I just want to show you how it looks on the other side. Okay, and I'll probably move my camera angle back because we can now. We're not doing any more sewing. And you can kind of see my half-finished bag. All right. Oh, I guess I have to flip my camera around. Okay. Hold on. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. This is all new, doing live sewing on screen. So it's really fun. I'm just going to see if I can get my stands sorted. So I can just show you the final end panel of my duffel. Okay, there we go. There we go. Look how cute it's going to be. It's going to be so cute. I'm really excited. So I'm going to finish putting in my other end panel and finish my carrying strap. And then my bag is going to be finished. And I'm really excited. See how cute this panel is a cheater panel, which is so fun. This is the canvas in the Oh Lucky Lucky collection. And I really love it. I can't wait to get some more. There's a few colorways coming. So anyways, it's cute fabric. All right, so that's what we're doing this week. We're just finishing up the duffel, the whole duffel. And as always, if you have questions, you can pop into my DMs or my inbox. I would love to help you. And I have to mention that we'll be picking a winner next week for the sew along. We have one sponsor for our sew along, and it is Heartmade Threads. She sent me this shirt too, which I was super excited about. Behind every quilter is a pile of fabric. I have a few of their shirts and I really like them. She's giving away a shirt of your choice and $50 to her fabric shop. So it's a great prize. So the way we'll pick is from the Duffle Sew Along 2024 hashtag. So be sure to post your finished bag to the hashtag and that will get you entered for the giveaway. And we'll probably pop on one more live next week and share the winner and maybe do a little Q&A. But I'm going to flip through real quick and just make sure I didn't miss any of these questions. Thanks for the tips. I'm so happy you guys are enjoying the lives. I hope that they've been good. And let's see, I think I got most of them. What is the name of the bag pattern? Oh, it's the Patchwork Duffle. All right. I can't wait to try that trick. Yep, you're going to have to get some basting tape. I think that she was referring to the basting tape. That was my cute employee, Amy. Okay, I think we're good. I think we got all the questions answered. Thanks for showing the hardware. I'm glad that was helpful. Okay, we're good. Thank you so much for tuning in for week 3, and I hope you guys have a really great week, and we will catch you in your inbox later today or early tomorrow with all of the details from this. So thanks so much for being here.